Hello.
Sir, namaskar.
Namaskar, namaskar. I'm sorry.
ନମସ୍କାର ସାର୍।
Namaskar, madam.
ସାର୍ ଭଲ ଅଛନ୍ତି ଆପଣ?
Yes, madam, I am good. I'm sorry for late joining due to certain problem. I'm not feeling good today. My health is not well. Anyway,
ଓକେ
uh, let us start. I'm really sorry. Uh,
ନୋ ପ୍ରୋବ୍ଲେମ୍।
uh, Yesterday, uh, we have discussed uh, regarding the uh, what is that? The role and expectation in social work practicum, orientation for social work practicum, role and expectation in social work practicum, role and expectation of social work training institute, principle and skills for social work and agency practice. Today, we will discuss block 3, that is fieldwork supervision. Whatever we are discussing, all are related to fieldwork supervision and field practicum, etc. So this fieldwork supervision also divided into 4 units. Okay. So number 1 unit is models and moods of social work supervision. And number 2 unit is administrative environmental aspects in social work supervision. Uh, Number 3, that is supportive functions in supervision. Unit 4 is field practicum supervision in distance learning mode. Am I audible? It is audible to everyone.
Yes, sir.
ୟେସ୍ ସାର୍।
Okay. Very good. So first unit now we will be discussing that is models and moods of social work supervision. Okay. So this is first unit, and under this unit, uh, before knowing the model of supervision, definition and general function of supervision. Already we have discussed so many times, and in the last 2 days we have been discussing the same thing, that the supervisor and the student and the agency and the stakeholders, means the community people, they are correlated to each other, because without the supervision there would be no fieldwork practicum. Without the agency there would be no fieldwork practicum. Without the community there would be no fieldwork practicum. All are interrelated to each other. So fieldwork supervision is inevitable. Without the fieldwork supervision, you cannot do the fieldwork practicum, because definitely a student is a newcomer and he is unknown about the different protocol, different principle, different ethics, values of social work. Therefore, he need to take the advice of a social worker who is trained, and he only can guide properly. That is why he or she must be taking the assistance of a supervisor. Supervision is an educational practicum is generally defined as the relationship between a student or subordinate and supervisor who oversees the development of the student throughout the practicum experience. Whatever doing a students that will be observed by a fieldwork supervisor. That is why this is very, very important that supervision must be there. So the various functions of supervision are as follows. We will just discuss. There are many functions are there. We will be discussing 2, 3 functions, and again we'll go to another chapter. We will try to cover the entire chapter or entire unit of this particular subject. So the various functions. What are the functions in general functions of supervision? That is assessing the student's level of knowledge and skill. A supervisor always tries to assess the level of knowledge and skills of a student. Being a supervisor, he must try to assess the level of knowledge and skill of a students. If a student is up to the mark, then there is no need of giving extra, input to the students. If a student is lacking of skill, lacking of knowledge, then he or she must be imparted by the supervisors the adequate knowledge and skills in order to adjust or in order to face the fieldwork activities. Because fieldwork activities is very, very important part. Suppose again I tell you that theoretical part is we are doing it inside the classroom. Now through the online mode you are attending the classes and getting the knowledge, and whatever you will get the knowledge, that knowledge will help you to do your field practicum. So, but thing is that practicum or supervision, it is a practical things. So practically when somebody will do some kind of activities, prior to that he has to some extent of knowledge and skill, and the knowledge and skills need to be assessed by the supervisor. If it is not assessed, then the students will fail to do the concurrent field work. Assuming responsibility for working out a plan that will provide the student with an array of appropriate and challenging learning opportunities during the practicum, assessing the student in understanding and adapting to the community or environment where the practicum takes place. So these are some of the important things the supervisor has to assess. So supervisor has to assist to make a planning with the help of the students, or both of them will make a planning that how they will work out that field practicum effectively. That is very much important. If you are doing it planningly, then there is no any problem. That is why in the administrative there is a first component of administration or first component of management process is planning. Whatever you do, if you are doing it in planning, then nothing will hampers to you. Everything will be right. So planning must be required while you are doing the fieldwork activities. Assessing the fit between the students and clients' background and experiences, that is, whether the students is from the rural background or urban background or middle or lower classes, and their implication for interactions. These also very, very important. Wherever the students is belonging, and that also matters when does some kind of activities. Accordingly, the supervisor has to give the input, and the students will be get the fitting to do the activities. Monitoring the students' practicum experience and assisting in evaluating the students' performance. Monitoring the students' practicum experience and assisting in evaluating the students' performance. That means there are certain students who are very poor to perform their um, fieldwork activities, and there are certain students who are very effective to perform their fieldwork activities. What is that? Suppose I am going to field, but I am not able to write the reports. Suppose I am writing report, but I am not going to field. This is some of the lacuna. This is some of the gap which need to be realized by the fieldwork supervisor, and this fieldwork supervisor need to assess the performance, and what kind of experience the students is getting, that need to be also assessed. What kind of experience, say it is bitter experience or good experience, whatever experience a student is getting, that needs to be evaluated, that needs to be assessed, and if anything found difficulties, if anything found problem, that needs to be addressed. Assisting the students in integrating social work theory and the specific experiences of the practicum. Assisting the students in integrating social work theory. As I was saying to you, and it is very, the important thing is that ki, as a student of social work, you need to give importance to theory. Whatever taught in the classroom, that you have to utilize in your field practicum. Practical. Theory, practical without theory is meaningless. Practical without theory is meaningless. Theory without practical is meaningless. So whatever you have learned in the class, whatever you have learned in your theory, that you are going to implement, or that you are going to practice in your field practicum. So the more you are strong in theory, the more you will strong in the practical. Therefore, that is why only this is a subject. This subject is given for you, because I am so happy that if a person, if any students is going through details of this practicum guidelines, he or she will be a giant. He or she will be a very good student, because actual things he is realizing that this is the principle, this is the guideline that I have to do during my field practicum. If anybody is not doing that, then he is not a social worker. Today, in my class, in the practical class of my college, I was talking to my students that anybody can write a report without going to the field. Anybody can write a report like essay, but that is not the real report. When you are writing it systematically, that means you have to give a data, you have to give some information, you have to follow the process. The way that you have to write, if you are writing it, then only it is appreciable. And if you are writing it in a general mode, nothing is, meaningful for that. So this is very important. Encouraging self-acceptance and enhancing self-esteem. Encouraging interpersonal regard, managing interpersonal and organizational tension, fostering interdependence of the student, advocating for the student, evaluating the student's progress and development. These are some of the important function of a supervisor, that a supervisor need to deliver these functions. Advocate for the student. If anything problem occurs, anything problem takes place on behalf of the student, the supervisor need to talk to the study center. The studio supervisor also need to talk to the agency, because because in this fieldwork practicum, what I understand, supervisory plays a very vital role. Always the students seeks the advice of a supervisor. So supervisor need to play a very vital role, significant role. So he need to take into consideration of all these things. Then uh, then again, we will take some techniques to assist in facilitating students' learning. What are the techniques that a supervisor need to adopt? That is, engaging in a discussion of case material and asking why a certain intervention was used. Didactic, didactic teaching, such as providing information directly. Experimental teaching, such as role playing, in which the supervisor demonstrate a particular skill or technique. That means we need to engage the students. We need to give direct teaching to the students regarding this, regarding their field practicum, how to write their field practicum, how to visit the community, how to contact with the agency people, how to behave with them, how to get the information from them. Everything is very, very important aspects, and you need to, I mean, use the techniques. As I was saying to you that suppose relationship, good behavior, these are also some of the techniques. If you are having good behavior with your teacher, if you are having good behavior with your agency supervisors, definitely they will be happy to you and they can extend a support for you all. That is very much important. Now we will be discussing some of the developmental and tax model of supervision. Now we will discuss the developmental and tax model of supervision. There are two model of supervision. Understand? Number one is developmental, other one is tax model. So in developmental, what happens gradually? Development does not take place within a momentary. So it takes place. It takes some time. So therefore, initially, the students may not be aware of his responsibilities, and he will be, rely on you. And after some days, he may be just friendly with you, and then again he will try to self dependent on him, and gradually again when you will support to him, gradually he will be self-reliant, means self-dependent. He may not be that much of, dependent to you. Definitely, students must be dependent on you. But when you are fostering him, when you are ensuring him, when you are helping him in right time, in right decision, to take right decision and to take right activities, definitely he will be enjoying to do his work, and he will not get any confused that what he should do and what he should not do. So, in the development model, it is gradually the students will develop one after one stage. That is why, just as a social workers follow model of practice in working with other clients, supervisors also generally follows models of supervision that are typically associated with supervision in social work. In this section, we will discuss two primary models of supervision that are generally used in preparing new practitioners to work in various human services professions. The developmental and tax model of supervision, as I was saying to you. So, in this uh, developmental model, as I was discussing to you, stage 1, stage 2, stage 3, and stage 4. You have to come across this 4 stages. A student in the developmental model has to come across the 4 stages. And I was saying to you, during the first stage, excuse me, just a minute, please wait, just a minute. Excuse me. Okay, sorry for interruption. Somebody calls to me.
No
So
problem.
now, thank you, thank you. So in stage one, what happens? Students also generally lack self awareness and have little experience in working with clients in the first stage. So gradually he develops, and again he comes to second stage. During the second stage, he dependency, autonomy, conflict. As the student's awareness increases, in the second stage, as I was saying to you, his confidence level will increase. And the third stage, this is the stage of condition dependency in which the students is generally more differentiated, motivated, incited, and empathetic. Automatically, these things will increase and he will be capable enough. And in the fourth stage, at this stage, the student has developed a high level of competence and is able to independently formulate accurate assessment with appropriate interventions. Students at this stage are able to take responsibility for their own learning. This is the developmental stage. So, in the developmental stage, it is very easy that in this type of uh, I mean model of supervision, what happens? The supervisor uh, gives the strength, supervisor impart the knowledge, also imparting the skills, and gradually the students improve. So finally he is self-dependent, and finally his competence level will be increased, and he can comfortably deal with his fieldwork activities during the fourth stage. This is what called, we are saying, the developmental model. Another one is tax model. Tax model of supervision. What is this? Tax model of supervision. From this name, you must be knowing that what is tax model of supervision. Tax means, what do you mean by tax? What do you mean by
Some
tax?
assignment given to anybody, sir.
Very good. Some assignment given to anybody. Suppose you want to organize an event. You distribute some activities to among your students. So that is tax. Suppose you said that you go and formulate a self-help group. The self-help will be consist of 10 to 20 number, not less than 10, not more than 10, and it must be homogeneous one. Suppose you said, then your student will go and do that. That is tax. Suppose you said that you have to make a survey, socio-economic survey. You given a interview schedule, and he did that or she did that. That is a tax. Suppose you want to organize a eye camp. You said that you go and talk to your village people that in this day we are going to organize a eye camp, so that you all need to be present over there and take the advantage of your health camp. So this is the tax. So when you are giving some sort of tax, the responsibility will be increased among the students. That is why sometimes what happen, the students, they do not know what they should do in the field. They are helpless. They say, sir, what we will do? No. The supervisor has to assign some tax. The supervisor has to assign some activities. Which activities? Such type of activities where the students will learn something. Such type of activities he has to assign to the students, thereby the students will learn something. Hmm. And he will be happy to know all these things. That is very much important. That is why the tax model of supervision is very similar to the developmental model. However, it relies heavily on the assignment of tasks that help students to develop to a more advanced level of practice. More advanced level of practice, mind it. This model includes a focus on both functions and tasks within supervision, which are respectively the how and what of supervision. For example, some of the tasks that are included in the model or monitoring, evaluating, instructing, advising, modeling, counseling, supporting, sharing, etc. etc. You can also give some monitoring activities. You can also give some counseling activities among your students. Suppose there is a dropout student. Suppose there is a chronic disease patient you found in your community. You assign a task to your student that to counsel that patient or to the dropout student to come into the hospital or take the advantage of school, etc. So by doing this type of activities, what you are doing, he will be involved with counseling activities. He'll be involved in supervising activities, and thereby he will get some knowledge. That is why this two model is very, very important. So sometimes in other words, in your theoretical subject, there is a word that is storming, norming, and performing. Storming means when uh, when newly a student attends the field practicum or fieldwork activities, he puzzled. He do not know to properly to supervisor and the community and agency. So he tries to know uh, initially, and by the time he or she will not feel that much of comfortable. That is storming. And the next stage is norming. Norming stage what? He suppose he after knowing everything. Initially he was worried, but after knowing to each other, knowing the skills and knowledge, somehow he will be coming into the norming stage, mean normal stage. Then come to the performing stage, means activity he starts. Lastly, he starts the activity. That is why in social work we said storming, norming, and performing. In field practicum also, sometimes the students initially when join in any kind of in the fieldwork activities, initially he puzzled. He could not able to work out properly. Then gradually he adjust with himself or herself and closely becomes come to close relation with your with his or her supervisor agency, and then he starts the work. Therefore, that is development. That is why I was saying to you in the initial stage, somehow he may be depending on the supervisor. Then again his confidence level will increase. Then he will learn many more things. Then finally he will be attending all the things properly. So therefore, these two model is very, very important. Then we will be talking about the modes of supervision. There are certain modes of supervision that is direct observation of the student, hmm, direct of the student, didactic supervision, case discussion, tasks and role plays. Hmm. These are some of the the modes of supervision. What are the modes of supervision? Hmm. These modes are very important modes that we need to understand. So first one is the direct observation of the student. Direct observation of the student. Through this word, you must be understanding direct observation, direct accompanying with the students. direct dialogue with the students, direct interact with the students, direct visiting with the students and giving instruction and guiding him. It's the direct mood of observation or direct observation of direct observation. We are saying direct observation. Number two is didactic supervision. One approach to supervision is similar to what instructors and students do their academic classes. Didactic or teaching supervision is best chosen when an intern wants to learn. This is teaching supervision. Didactic supervision is known as teaching supervision, means through the class, through the interacting with the teacher, through the theoretical imparting theoretical knowledge, time to time monitoring, we are trying we are helping to the student. So that is also, we can say, it is a didactic supervision. And case discussion means suppose the you want to um, interact with your student based on some issues, based on some cases, whatever cases, mind it, in the social work, definitely you must be knowing, in field practicum also, in which community or under which organization you are working, you have to the identify the need, problems and issues of the community as well as the resources. This is very important, identifying the needs, problem and resources. After knowing the needs and problem, you will decide that which the uh, on which work you are going to do there, as per the need, as per the problem, as per the issue. Whatever issues are available in that community, whatever needs are available in the community, based on that only you have to plan the activities, you have to plan the tasks to do among the community dwellers. Through that you will gain some knowledge. Suppose a community having lot of people are drug addicts. In a community, you saw that a community having lot of people are drug addicts. So you will plan to do some kind of activities related to drug addictions. Suppose in a community you saw that there is a child marriage is going on in a community. So what you will do? You will not do some other literate activities or drug activities, etc. Your activities should be based on the uh, child marriage. Okay, how to combat the child marriage will be your focus area, and based on that you have to formulate some planning and do some activities so that a it will be a very good exposure for you, very good learning for you, and you will able to enhance your knowledge. Then taps and role plays. Video or audio recording of sessions with clients enable the supervisor and students to observe the actual interview process with a client. Tapes, tapes and role plays. What it is mean? This is also one of the mood of supervision. Mood of supervision. It means when you are working, there is a we are everybody having the mobile. Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Everybody, you must have the mobile. Yes. So when you are working, you may be recording it, audio visual recording. You may be taking the audio visual recording. That audio visual recording, after coming back from the community, you will show to your fieldwork supervisor. So the fieldwork supervisor will examine where you are lacking behind. What is your lacking point of communication? How you are how you are interacting? What kind of I mean what is your I mean the strategy that you have adopted? Everything you will come to know through this the tapes and role plays. Why? Because this is a evidence that you have. Through that evidence you can able to, I mean, uh, enhance your capability. You must be knowing, those who have attended the spoken English classes in a reputed institutes, when he will complete your course, or in due course of your learning of your communication skills, they record your voice as well as your gesture and posture, and they will show to you that where you are lacking behind, that will show to you. So your recording, your voice, your I mean, the performance, you will see and you will judge of your faults by the help of the supervisor. That is also a kind of moods of supervision that we are saying. Another one is the direct observation of the supervisor. So this is already I have talked to you. The majority of students prefer this mood of supervision above most others, while they recognize that discussion about their own work can only take them so far. They also feel they can learn a great deal when they can uh, watch their supervisor in group or individual session, read reports written by the supervisor. So, direct observation of the supervisor is very, very important than other type of supervision, and the students also very much like to appreciate this type of mode of supervision. Why? Definitely they will be feeling happy. So, friends, as per my experience, basically during the orientation visit, I accompanied with my students, IGNO students, to visit their different organization, to facilitate them to interact with the um, chief functionary of the organization and to visit the organization. And after that also, during the fieldwork also, we visit with the students. So the student's confidence level will increase and he will feel comfortable to do the activities. And you know, it is depending on the students, how far student is interested, how far student is really wants to know more information, wants to know the knowledge and skills. If is if he or she is not willing, then student, the teacher will not do any kind of work. Definitely teacher will advise, but it is the student who can uh, accompany with the teacher. It is the student who asks to join with her fieldwork activities to the supervisor. Then the supervisor will feel happy. This is the thing. So this is all about your modes of supervision. Now we'll be interacting cultural and administrative context of supervision. So cultural and uh, administrative context of supervision. What is this? Now, I can say in the process of working with diverse clients can include the following. That means you may be working in a different cultural group of people. Suppose in Bhubaneswar there is a big slum that is called Saliasai. So Saliasai is a populated with a different type of people. So there we, suppose you are working, then you have to be a multifaceted talented, you have to be a multicultural competencies. If you do not have the multicultural talent competencies, you cannot work with those people, because different linguistic people, different class people, caste people are residing over there. So that is also very much important. How are issues of diversity handled in the agency Are these issues included in the agency's assessment process? It is it is permissible to include these issues in the assessment and intervention conducted by the social workers in the agency. What it is, what the what is the important things of here? It is written that whatever things you are getting in the slum or in the community, the agency should also aware of that. If the agency is not doing that in that particular area, then it will be difficult to handle yourself the problem. So therefore, the um, the agency also one of the very important aspect where the agency people need to cooperate to you while you are working in a uh, multicultural group of people. And sometimes you may be assigned some of the administrative activities, as I was saying to you. So when you will assign any kind of administrative activities, by that time you can also be very cunning. You can also be very, I mean, intellectually you have to handle that situation. The administrative structure of an agency can provide an opportunity for students to apply in the practicum setting the cultural component, knowledge, skills, and values that they have gained in their casework. Then now we'll come to the unit 2, that is administrative and environmental aspect in social work supervision. Administrative and environmental aspect in social work supervision. Okay. Orientation to fieldwork supervision, roles and expectation. Already I have discussed with you the students should have an understanding of the following information while he is going for the orientation. So what they need to understand again, that is when a supervisory sessions are scheduled, that means when your supervision will be held, that should be known by the students. Okay, what the expectations are with regard to the review of written material by the supervisor and due dates, the protocol for reporting absences or scheduled appointments outside the agency policies and procedures, protocol regarding confidentiality. These are some of the, I can say that some of the principles also, if I can say, these principles we can also use when you we are visiting to any agencies. So this has to be kept in mind. This has to remember by the students while they are going for the, I mean, the field practicum. Also, the teacher, the field practicum teacher, that means the field instructor, but faculty also should know about this. Then only the his or her supervision will be effective one. Now, the supervisory relationship, styles of supervision. Okay, so I have already repeatedly saying to you that the supervisor and the students, both of them's relationship is professional relationship. Yes or no? Professional.
Yes, sir.
So in the professional relationship, we uh, we transfer each other, or we expect each other professional things only, right? No doubt, I cannot say that you need not to be a social relationship. You need to be make a social relationship with your teacher, but prior to that, professional relationship is very important. So therefore, during the relationship, philosophical style, there are different type of style the supervisor need to maintain. That we are saying the philosophical style, theoretician's theoretical style, technician technological style. That means uh, a supervisor has to perform his role differently in different places. Um, Sometimes he has to supply or impart the technological knowledge. Sometimes he has to advise um, some psychological aspects. Sometimes he has to advise some social aspect. So thereby he can able to solve the problem of the students. Then now will be coming to appropriate use of supervision. Appropriate use of supervision, depend dependability and follow through on assigned work. This is very important. Appropriate use of supervision. How we will use of supervision? How the supervision will be effective one? Only when you are assigning some tasks and the students is going to materialize those tasks. By the time if he is facing any kind of problem, he will dependent to you and he will ask some questions, and thereby you will facilitating to him or her, and your problem will be solved. Attention to detail and proper procedures. Initiative in work related assignments. This is very, very important on the part of a supervisor. Whether he is attentive for the detail of the proper procedures, whether the students is following the proper procedure or not, that will be detected, that will be identified by the supervisor. And beside that, initiative in work related assignments. Whatever assignment given to the students, that need to be evaluated by the teacher, and the teacher need to be initiate to involve the students. A cooperative attitude towards the practicum instructor and other staff. A cooperative attitude towards the practicum instructor and other staff. That means in an agency, students need to be cooperate. A supervisor also need to be cooperate towards the instructor as well as the staff member who are helping to his or her students. We need to be cooperative to them. If anything they want queries comes from the agency, that need to make clarified by the teacher. If it is clarified, then definitely they will feel happy that the supervisor is giving support to our his or her students. Okay. Openness to supervision, including asking for and learning from constructive criticism. Sometimes what's happen, if we are saying anything to our students, the students takes it otherwise. Why you did not spend 6 hours, 7 hours? By going to during the orientation period, I usually advise to our students at least stay over there 5, 6, 7, or at most 8 hours also. Why? By staying in agency, by staying with the community, also you will learn something. That is why in research we are teaching that participatory research. Participatory research. Why you are saying participatory research? Through participation, you can learn so many things. How you learn so many things? Through observation. Participation means meeting with them practically, staying with them practically, spending time with them practically. That is very much important. When I was a student of NISWAS, I passed out BSW, MSW from NISWAS college. You must be knowing the first and premier college of Odisha. There during our field practicum, we we were staying for 8 hours in the community. We were staying for 8 hours in the agency. So agency people are so happy with us. Why? Because they feel that we are the member of their agency. They sometimes they were also offering us the lunch during the lunch hour. Sometimes they also inviting us to their family. Why? Because we were so close to those agency, because we are so close to the community. If you go to Bhubaneswar, there is a community that is Patharabandha community, and Hatiaswani Basti, and then if you and the other than this, another there is a community where till now the community people are remembering to me till now. After passing out the students, when I became a teacher, I went to that community with my students. They recognized me till now, and they are very much happy to me. Why? Because your involvement is must be there with that community. If you are closely associated with them, then definitely you can able to extract, you can able to know the information from them, sitting with them, interacting with them, try to mingle with them. And if they are celebrating any kind of festivals, then also we used to uh, attend those celebrations. So that is why Soinika Basti, hmm, if you go to that place, then you will be enjoying. So there are so many bastis, so many slums are there. Now after being a teacher, uh, now our students are going to Acharya Vihar slum, where I am in IMS college. There is a college where I am working as a HOD of Department of Social Work. My students are going to Biju Adarsha Colony Basti. Earlier it was a Acharya Vihar slum. Now if you go to ask to the head of the slum and any woman, there they will immediately say the Mondal sir is our poor. It means I consider that they as their village member. So while there is a funny, while there is a disaster, by that time I had been to that place and uh, supported them by providing the relief, and I brought some cutting machine from the Samaj Relief Samaj office, and with in collaboration of CYST, I had been to that place and helped a lot. And some of the family members, they cooked food for me and for my some of my outside students. They are not forgetting till now the way we have involved with them for rescue purpose, for rescue of their during the disaster. So likewise, when you will involve yourself in forgetting your position, forgetting your and definitely they will be praising to you. The way you have to involve yourself. If you show yourself that I have come from the high-fi family and I am a highly qualified, these slum people are illiterate people, poor people, why should I talk with them? Why should I spend this much of time? Sir and Manamar are not available here. I will leave this place after 1 hour. There are students that are doing that one. But remember, when you will spend some time with the community people, you will know the truth of their lifestyle. You will know the actual fact of their problem. And when you will be knowing the actual fact of their problem, automatically your problem, their problem will solve, and you can also able to solve their problem. Now we'll coming to the dealing with conflict in supervision. Sometimes what happen, conflict arises between the agency and the student. Conflict arises between the uh, uh, I mean and the community people and agency. So by that time you have to handle the situation accordingly. So what is the root cause of conflict? How it will be solved? That you have to understand properly. So sometimes we need to criticize our students positively. The students need not to be take it otherwise. Sometimes we have to criticize the students because of their development. Why you are not spending this much of time? The student will say that, oh, this teacher is very strict. Don't say like that. It is for your benefit, he is saying. If you are not doing, then you are only losing your professionalism. You are only losing your learning. Nothing will happen. Again, the student's life will not come. Again, you will not go for throughout the life. You will not go for reading the MSW course. Only for these 2 years, you are here for in IGNO. So after 2 years, nobody is going to teach you. It is you that you are going to teach yourself. So whatever you have learned during your studentship, that will help you for your professional building of professional career. That is why it is very important. Now we will come to the unit 3, that is supportive function in supervision. What is supportive functions? That we will discuss now. Some of the supportive functions we have to discuss. That is uh, a sample of the typical questions that students generally ask themselves and supervisors need to address. What are those questions? I say the more question you will raise, the more knowledge you will gain. Those who are attentively listening, those who are attentively attending the classes, regularly attending the classes, they only can ask the questions. And if you are asking the question, then your confidence level will increase and your knowledge will be increased. So in this book, there are some questions are given. Basing on that question, you have to interact with your fieldwork supervisor. What is that? How do helping professional balance their professional roles with their personal lives away from work? How can they manage the conflicting demand of an internship? How does the internship influence their ideas about the clients they work with? How does the internship affect close personal or social relationship? So these are some of the important things. First one, I will just try to explain to you how do helping professionals balance their professional roles with their personal lives away from work. See, it is a very tricky question. This is very important question that uh, sometimes what happen, we have to maintain the balance. We are working in a office, we are working in some other places. In the same time, we are also working in the field. So how do we maintain the balance? If you are not maintaining the balance, your work will hamper and you will be irritated, you will be frustrated. So therefore, you have to maintain the balance of your work. If you are maintaining the balance, then definitely there would be no any problem for you. So that is very much important, friends. That things you can ask to your teacher, sir, this is the problem. How can I maintain the balance? How can I adjust myself? Please tell me. So he will show the path, he will say the direction, and thereby you may be able to solve your problem effectively. How can they manage the conflicting demands of an internship? Conflicting demands of the internship means during the internship, how many days you are doing internship? 30 days you are doing internship. In the internship, what you does, whatever work assigned by the your agency means household survey. You have to do the household survey within this specific time period. That may be a constant for you. So that will be a conflict situation for you. That the agency is wanting to do this work within a time frame. If you are not doing that, then the report will go to the supervisor. They will they will argue, they will demand to your supervisor that your students is not doing work properly. So it will create the conflict situation. So you have to manage that one. Like that, how will they be able to recognize if they are being adversely affected by their work? Hmm. How might they cope with a situation in which they recognize that they are under excessive stress and their professional effectiveness or personal wellness is being harmed. Just before I was saying to you, it is maintaining the balance. Coping mechanism is very, very important. Everywhere, anywhere you go, if you are not coping yourself, then you cannot able to adjust yourself. Coping is very important aspect of your life. You must have to cope yourself. Coping, where is necessary coping? Where there is a deficiency. Which is or which things you are wanting, and if you are not fulfilled, there you have to cope yourself. Adjust. Coping means adjust yourself. Then only your problem would be solved. Then now we will come into common stress leading to burnout and compassion fatigue. Common stress. Whatever stress come to your mind, say somebody dies in your family, your agency is not cooperating to you, your supervisor is not cooperating to you, your stress level will increase. So how by that time uh, you have to you have to manage your stress. If you are not managing your stress, then you will be not able to solve your problem. Okay. So exposure to cumulative stress, stress may be, multiply sometimes at at some point of time. Your stress may be increased. Suppose one as organization is not cooperating to you. By contacting with the supervisor, you can change that agency. Suppose you are placed in a agency for block placement, and the agency is not cooperating to you. Your block placement you may be changing, no problem. By the by the consultants of your supervisor, you will change that one. What is wrong with that? But you should not go through the stress. But uh, in some point of time, your work pressure may be high. In some cases, you may be in a pressure, but you have to manage that one. If you are not managing, then your um, you are failure to do that one. So everywhere you have to manage your stress, right? So occupational stress, when uh, unchecked, can result in worker burnout. Role of ambiguity, role conflict, and role overloaded play a large role in the outset of burnout within the workplace. Stress related problems often result from a combination of individual perception of the problem, environmental demands placed on the individuals that have a direct effect on his or her ability. So these are some of the areas of coming out the stress that you need to um, manage that stress. Okay. Again, we will come to the impact of stress on personal functioning. There is a chart given in your book very clearly that what are the impact. If you if you stay in the stress, then you cannot able to do your work. So if through through the stress, how it affects to your job performance. Through your stress, how it affects to interpersonal relationship. Through your stress, how it affects on moral. Through your stress, how it affects to behavioral functioning. I will cite only one example from your book itself. You can refer to your book and go through in details so that you will learn more and more, and you can manage. If you are undergoing through such type of stress, then you will manage it if you are getting it properly. See, effect on job performance, decrease in quality of work. If you are in stress, then You may not be delivering quality work in your organization. That is one of the effect. That is job effect. Another effect, interpersonal relationship. What is what kind of effect will be with you if you are in the stress? Withdrawal from colleagues. If you are undergoing through some stress, then you may not be talking with your friends. You will try to live alone. You will try to escape from them, and that is withdrawal from the colleagues. Effect on morale, decrease confidence. Your confidence level will decrease. Your courage will decrease. Your brave will decrease. Whatever you want to do, you may not be that much of confidence to face that particular problem. Your confidence level will decrease, which is related to morale. And effect in behavioral functioning, absenteeism. You will feel absent yourself. Whatever you suppose you want to do, you may not be doing it properly. You may be feeling absent. Sometimes um, you must be knowing that some people, they are not in the present mind. We say, are you absent mind? Are you in the absent mind? That is why you did this guilty. We are saying like that. Why? It is the consequences of the stress. Say it is financial problem. Say it is family discord, wife and husband gondogolo, but problem, spouse disturbance, family disturbance, or an official disturbance. These many things will influence to your daily to day life, and it will affect to your body also. So we need to be remain stress free. Whatever stress comes, just calmly you have to bear it. See, all kind of problem will not perpetuate for longer period. The problem will one day it will solve. So watch and see, wait and see. Definitely your problem will solve. So sometimes what happens, we irritate ourselves. How instantly our problem could be solved, like that we irritate to ourselves, but we should not irritate for that. Gradually the problem will pass out. That is why sometimes people committing suicide, sometimes people flee from one place to another place. Why? They don't understand their situation. Immediately they want to solve their problem. Friends, immediately nothing will solve to you. You have to wait. Definitely the problem will solve. Now we'll come to the using supervision to deal with stress, maintaining personal boundaries. Uh, I have I was discussing with you. So uh, a positive supervisory relationship can pose difficult challenges, such as in the case of a dual responsibility in which the boundaries between students and supervisor became somewhat blurred. This can easily occur in situations where a student might be experiencing role conflict, personal problems, or significant anxieties about his or her. He or he or she might have a need to provide therapeutic services to the students and assist him or her dealing with the conflict on a level that is outside the professional supervisory role. The This should be avoided, as the supervisor who also performs the role of therapist with a student can create a serious ethical dilemma and cause harm to the student supervisor's relationship. Dual relationship between supervisor and students have proven to be difficult issues to resolve and have been the topic of much debate in the professional literature. Anyway, it speaks that a teacher should not be entertained to the personal problem of his students because sometimes it creates the problem as well. So uh, we need to facilitate them, or we can also refer to those students who are in problematic situation, and they will get relaxed out of it. Dealing with conflicts supervision, dealing with conflict in supervision, dealing with conflict in supervision. An important point to remember is the fact that in any relationship, whether personal or professional, conflict inevitably will occur between or among the parties. Conflict can stem from opposing goals that two parties might entertain or extreme difference in personality characteristics. Dealing with conflict in supervision. It is also related to conflict. What I mean to say, I was discussing with you that conflict is inevitable, means you cannot avoid any kind of conflict. At any point of time, any kind of conflict can take place to your mind, your situation. So conflict is inevitable. So that conflict, you have to reduce that conflict, you have to resolve with mutual understanding. Any problem, of course, through the mutual understanding, it can be solved. If you are irritating to any kind of conflict will create the conflict. Therefore, you have to cool down yourself and listen to your students' problem. Listen to your teacher's problem. If you are cooperating to each other, then conflict will be reduced. Okay. Now, we'll come to the unit 4. This unit also very important for all of us. That is supervision in the ODL model by faculty and or professional social worker at the placement. Course teacher as supervisor of field practicum. Sometimes what happen, your teacher, your course teacher means who is teaching to you, he will only supervise to you. So that is also a conducive thing, means a positive things that you know him or her already during the class hour, and he is your guide, then it will be very good for you. So you can feel better with him, and your supervision will be effective one. So in many instances, the person is entrusted with the responsibility of teaching one or more subject of the syllabus also takes up the task of providing field instruction. That things it is written here. Now we will now discuss the placement based supervision. This is a situation where the professionally qualified social workers employed in the placement agency alone in responsible for students field instruction. The field practicum instructor has to perform both the roles: represent the placement agency, help students integrate theory with practice, and help achieve educational objectives of the field practicum. Placement based supervision means you are there as a students, you are there as a I mean um, mm, working as a employee, as well as you are also the student of that particular organization. There what will happen, you will feel more comfortable to do the activities over there, and they will cooperate to you, and you will also get the cooperation from them, and thereby you can able to develop yourself effectively. Examination of the workplace as a learning environment reveals it is far from ideal and poses unique challenges to the practicum supervisor. Now we will come to strategies of supervision. What are the strategies that we are adopting for the supervision? Okay, supervision an integral part of social work education that already we have been discussing again and again. Hmm. There are different strategies that we are adopting for the supervision. What is that? What are those? Uh, some of the strategies: managing early stages of field practicum and setting the tone of open dialogue and purposeful action. That means before going to the field practicum, you are closely interacting with your fieldwork supervisor and going to the field work. So that would help you effectiveness of delivering of your field practicum. According to the developmental models, supervision, the supervisor proceeds through a series of developmental stages of and tasks. That means it is a strategy that when initially the students entering for doing the field practicum, the fieldwork supervisor has to make a plan for 45 days, for 30 days, and divide some activities which will help them to do the activities effectively. That is very much important. If he's doing that activities effectively, then nothing will happen to him because they are working it properly. That is why I said it is strategy. It is a kind of strategy of supervision. The strategy of supervision has to met. The strategy of supervision has to formulated by the supervisor itself with the help of the students, with the knowledge of the students. Only without the knowledge of the students, if the supervisor is formulating any kind of strategy, that is worthless. So always we need to keep in mind that we have to be assimilate the opinion of the students and formulate the strategy or plan how to do 45 days concurrent fieldwork, how to do 5 orientation visit, etc. So that will be very easy to do your work. While supervisory strategy based on developmental model is best suited at the beginning of the field practicum or during the first year of the course. Anyway, this type of some of the strategies written here. Hmm. Individual supervision, peer supervision, group supervision, all three styles are utilized in the supervision of students. I was saying to you that during your field practicum, you have to come across with your fieldwork supervisor, means come contact with your fieldwork supervisor individually. That is individual conference. And when you will grouply contacting with your fieldwork supervisor, that is group work, but group conference. We say it is group conference. So whatever you are feeling, whatever comfortable to you, that you have to do. But mind it, group conference may not be possible, but individual conference is inevitable for everybody. It is mandatory. If you are not doing minimum 5 group individual conference, then your fieldwork will not authenticate. Group conference may be exempted, but individual conference is mandatory. Means individually you have to meet with your supervisor related to your fieldwork queries, related to your fieldwork doubts, related to your fieldwork problem. You have to discuss with your supervisor, and that discussion you have to reflect through your reports. When we are reflecting through your report, reflecting through your report, then only it is full-fledged concurrent fieldwork, and accordingly it will be evaluated. Now we'll come to Tools of supervision. What are the tools? Some of the tools of supervision. Structure of field practicum and supervision define clearly the objectives, nature, role and expectation of field learning and supervision. All these things more or less already we have already discussed. In this context, field practicum, journal for students and guide for supervisor prove major supervisory tools. Supervisors supervisory relationship is most vital tool in the hand of the supervisor. As students learn theoretical contents primarily through self-study materials, this tools is most critical to students acquiring professional socialization. Feedback, both formal and informal, is an important tool for the supervisor. Written comments on students, field records in the field journals of the students are constant source of guidance. These are some of the tools that uh, must be used by the fieldwork supervisor. You write a report on daily basis and then you have to show the report to your teacher, fieldwork supervisor. The fieldwork supervisor will give the comments and further next when you are going for the fieldwork activities, whatever lacuna you found, again you will try to sort out that lacuna. Again you will suppose there is a grammatical errors. Yeah, you will conscious to that particular errors, grammatical errors. Again you should not make the mistakes of grammar. So that way you have to correct yourself. And summative evaluation at midterm and at the end of the term is the culmination of the ongoing assessment process. See, we are the teacher will daily basis will assess to you your fieldwork report, and then finally again he will assess your report and write a global comment. You can see your journal that there is a global comment experienced by the students, and there is a global comment by the student, by the teacher. So the teacher will give you the global comment whether you are effectively did that fieldwork journal, field practicum or not. That will be that things will be reflected through his global comment, and accordingly will be given the marks. Now, functions of the supervisor: educational, administrative, helping. Okay, so these are some of the functions divided into three types. One is educational function, administrative function, and helping functions. These three functions need to be materialized. These three functions need to be functional by the supervisor. Okay, so what is this educational function? What kind of educational function a supervisor has to deliver? Designing and planning of learning activities and or programs of the programs of study. Designing and planning of learning activities. It is the duty of a supervisor that he has to design and planning of learning activities for the student, as I was saying, for 45 days or 30 days. Giving theoretical content whenever the classroom teaching is not in tune with fieldwork needs. If the classroom teaching is not sufficient, then also the teacher has to give some theoretical knowledge to the students, which will be very much helpful for him or her to deliver effectively the activity. Teaching the use of tools and techniques of social work practice. Teaching the use of tools and techniques of social work practice. This is the educational function. Then administrative function. What is administrative function? Selection of agencies for field placement. It is also one of the administrative function uh, should be played or functioned by the supervisor. Sometimes students do not able to find out some organization where they're supposed to place, even in the town area also. So the teacher will be facilitating to the students to find out the agency where he or she will be placed, and take into consideration of their interest. Again, I am telling to you, friends, interest, which area you want to do, which area you want to work comfortably. According to that area, if you choose or selection of any agency, that will helpful for you. Suppose you want to work in child rights and child education. So which organization working for child rights and child education, if you are placed on that agency, then it will very good for you. Suppose if you are working or your interest area is work in the field of climate change, there are some organizations who are working in climate change. You can work over there. There are some organizations who are working for transgenders. If you work there, you will get the knowledge. There are some organizations who are working uh, for youth. If you are working with that organization, then also you will get the knowledge from there. So it is you that you have to say to your teacher, and the teacher will find out some agency for you. If you are not able to find out any organization, this is administrative activities or function of a teacher. What I mean to say, placement of students, different phases in placement, screening, minimum orientation, goal setting, actual placement, and evaluation, the closure. Giving orientation about field practicum and expectation from students, explaining the use of the field journal rather than fix the mistakes, better to tell the do's and don'ts beforehand. So these are some of the administrative functions uh, should perform by the teacher. Then coming to helping functions. So many functions are there. I advise you please read this book. At least you will get the knowledge. You may not be utilizing it practically, full-fledgedly, but it will help you. See, I will say an instance. Sometimes I think that whatever we are reading in the book, is it practical helpful for us in every time? Yes, every time it is helpful. How? Whenever it is necessary, by that time it is helpful. Suppose uh, wa- a person wants to become a medicine specialist, doctor. He had to read all the medicines, but all medicines, all whatever he has read during his study period, he may not become contact with all disease, but he is supposed to read that one. That will capable enough. That will enable him to write a good medicine for the patients. Therefore, when students go for competitive students go for ways appearing, OPSC, IPSC, they're appearing. What they does? They prefer they prepare themselves everything and faces some selective questions. If you have read everything and anything comes, then you can address it properly, answer it properly. If you have limited to your study, if you have not read extensively, then you cannot able to address all these things. So therefore, practical It is for your theoretical point of view, you are attending the classes, it is good. But then I advise to you, if you read at least once or twice or thrice, it will helpful for your professional career, strengthening of your professional career. Now we will discuss that is helping function. What is helping function? Creating an open supervisory environment, providing encouragement to whom? To the students, attending to students' personal growth, building confidence of students. These are the helping functions. We need to help to our students. If a student is losing in confidence, then we have to supplement the confidence. I will cite one example and of my practical out of my practical experience. One of my student, he said, I don't want to utter his name. He's from Gajapati district. He said when in the first year he attended 2-3 classes, and then he says, "Sir, I want to leave this course." Then I said, "Why you want to leave this course?" He said, "Sir, I'm not understanding English. I'm not able to write a single word from English." Then I, I said, where you pass out from, how you pass out metric, +2 and +3. You will be amazed to know. He said, "Sir, I did copy and pass out from there." One of the student, he said, in +2 and +3. It is happening in the town also. He said, "Sir, I copied and pass out. And I had written in Udia." He said, Udia. You know, I felt very embarrassed and then I started counseling to him. I started encouraging him. I started build up his confidence. That I said, see, when I was appointed, firstly when I came as a lecturer, I was not able to speak as complete a English sentence. But gradually I grow, and now I'm teaching to university students in the Utkal University, in the North Asia University, in different universities. I'm delivering speech, taking the classes effectively. I have already proved myself. I also come from a Udia background. So why you are fearing for this? Don't worry, I am with you. You just try. Don't feel embarrassed that you are from Udia background, you have copied and all. See, that student, she got pass out, and now he is getting 40,000 per month in a project. Try to understand. Now he is getting, how much he is getting after passing out of MSW? He is now getting 40,000 per month. Why? He developed himself. Gradually, definitely he developed, and he also cope up with the MSW course. And now he is a very good student. Now he is capable enough to do his work. So initially, sometimes we may be losing. The students need to help to the, the teacher need to help to the students to encourage him by building up confidence and encourage, etc. Thereby, students will cope up with situation. So helping students develop self-awareness, understanding personal versus professional self, setting down in placement with agency staff, co-workers, accepting demands of social work course, dealing with personal family problems, having impact on field practicum, practice performance, career counseling. These are some of the areas where a teacher need to help to the students. Now, roles of the supervisor. What are the roles of the supervisor? What are the roles of the supervisor? Now, there are there are different roles need to be performed by the supervisor. What are the roles? One role is teacher role, another one is enabler role, another another one is facilitator, guide, consultant, counselor, co-coordinator, and advocate. These are the some of the roles. I was citing some example. I was citing some. I mean, the example in I think in the last classes that a person perform the role. A person performs different role in the society. He performing role in some role in family. He is performing some role in office. He is performing some role in among the peer groups. He is performing some role in the society. So different people are performing different type of roles. So here also the supervisor has to perform his role. Sometimes he has to act as a teacher. Sometimes he has to act as an enabler. Sometimes he has to act as a facilitator. Sometimes he has to act as a guide. Sometimes he has to act as a consultant, counselor. So acting will be different in different situation. As per the necessity, one has to act. So this is what the some of the role of the supervisor. Then qualities of the supervisor. What are the qualities of the supervisor? Unbiased. Uh, Ethical. A teacher must be ethical. He should not be biased, unbiased. And also he has to be a knowledgeous person, courageous person. He must be a leader. These are some of the, I mean, the qualities of a teacher. A teacher must have um, a perfect personality, positive personality teacher. If a teacher having the personality, good personality, then he or she will coping the problem. So my uh, um, my dear students, this is all about the some of the role and qualities. And now we will just discuss some of the some other issues are being discussed further. That is supervising field practicum, some important issues. Hmm. When you will supervise the field practicum, by that time you need to be attend the training of supervisors, field practitioners versus academicians. Students are placed under different supervisor, role conflict. As we are discussing, I was discussing with you. So before imparting the supervision, a teacher need to become a trained teacher. Unless he is not trained, he cannot able to teach properly. I had an opportunity to take a training from IGNO in regional center Bhubaneswar for three. I remember 3 to 4 days. I think some of our Delhi IGNO staff had come to regional center and they have imparted us that training. And also beside this, another training also I had attended in Bhubaneswar. So many times I have attended some of the orientation training imparted by the IGNO. So therefore, we have some kind of knowledge on how to guide the students and what are the minimum criteria that need to be fulfilled by a teacher, what ethics we need to perform, what kind of rules that we need to uh, abide by ourselves. Little bit we have that knowledge since we have got that training from the IGNO, right? So what I mean to say, the teacher need to be trained. If a teacher is trained, then definitely he can effectively deliver the subject. So thank you all of you. If you have any doubts, please ask to me, because this is a time for question answer session. See, at a stress, um, interacting 2 hours is a very tedious task. I feel sometimes it is very means difficult for me and some other teacher also, because we don't have that much of interval, and you should also interact with us so that we will feel very happy. And if you have any queries, then please tell to me. This is the third class. Tomorrow we are going to finish this chapter. Um that is block 5, the social work practicum and supervision. Okay. So the entire book is given emphasis on practicum and supervision. So the hero and heroine and the main actor are under this practicum and supervision are the supervisor, agency supervisor, faculty supervisor, student, agency, and community. So what do? You have to attend the induction meeting. You have to visit the orientation 5 developmental organization orientation visit. Then you will go for 45 days concurrent fieldwork. In meanwhile, you have to attend the individual conference, group conference. You have to do the case study. You have to do the group work. You have to do the some community organization activities. Then only you will able to complete your fieldwork journal. So this process need to be followed. And whoever attending now the classes, you don't worry for that. If you are attentively listening, then I think definitely this is very easy. Yesterday only, I attended one IGNO student. She is doing diploma in MSW counseling. She has only one journal, and she is a very, qualified. I taught her. I just convinced her by um, showing her journal. See, sometimes what happens, we are not entering into the book. We are not going to read the books. Your book is your guide. If you read carefully, no need to take advice of others. This book will give properly guide you. This is very easy to understand. But thing is that some technical or some technical and some terms you may not be understand. For that you can take the assistance of a teacher. It's good. But then when you are writing anything, first you read your guidebook. First you read your guidebook. For that there is a journal guidebook. For that there is a project guidebook. Students are not reading that one. And they are saying, sir, এটা কেমতি করিবু, we are not able to do this, we are fearing for this, very difficult this is. Arey yaar, what is difficult here? This is nothing difficult. Only the thing is that you have to processly, you have to do the work. If you are following the process, nothing is problem for you. If you are completing one report, then next report will easy to write you. If you are not beginning, then how you will write the next report? First you write the report, get the feedback of your teacher, then you will feel happy. Why you are depending on others? You have much capacity, but that capacity need to be utilized positively. Hurry worry. I have not done this journal within 1 year, and I will do this within 1 month, 15 days. And I'm saying in 11th hour, sir, my journal, my academic session is going to end this means June. Now he is in May. Within these 15 days, sir, how he will write 4 journal are there? See, if you do this type of things, then you will face the problem. But still, I have I have assisted to so many students. Don't lose your confidence. Is also very much helpful to all those. During COVID also, I have suggested to some of one of my students. She's from Koraput. Hmm. I suggested her, Madam, you just write whatever you have written. You just um, send it to the IGNO through the mail. Scan it and send it to the mail. Send it to the without any means evaluation, feedback evaluation. She had put her my name, and I was the supervisor through telephone. I was interacting with her, guiding her through telephone. Then IGNO helped her, and she already got pass. Now she's the one of the she's working in a organization, as well as once upon a time I had been to SIRD, State Institute Rural Development, and she had also come for interview, and she also one of my partner of training. We are the certified trainer of SIRD, State Institute of Rural Development. I felt very happy. She said that to others that Mondal sir was my teacher. For him only I got a MSW pass out. So this is the thing. Whatever problems comes, you should not worry for that. Thing is that if you tactfully deal with that, definitely it will be overcome. It will be solved. And we have much time with you. You have much time with you. So that time you have to use productively. If you spend it lazily, time pass, MSW, if I'm doing my MSW, then it is a time pass for me. Fieldwork is a time pass for me. Then you cannot learn anything. You cannot know anything. You will get the pass, but nothing will helpful to you. So, friends, if you have any doubts, please ask to me. I think uh, I have tried my best to uh, attain your expectation somehow, not fully. But if you have any doubts, please ask to me. Now this is your time. You can talk to me. I will happy.
Hello, sir.
Yes, madam.
Sir, Block 3, Unit 1,
Hmm.
1.1 जो ଅଛି ଆମର that is diagram.
Hmm.
ସେ diagram ଟା ଟିକେ ବୁଝିବାର ଥିଲା sir. Function
Hmm.
and task in supervision.
Hmm. Which one? Which one?
That is 1.1 fig.
Function and
Function and task in supervision. That is function how the model of social work supervision. That is block 3 unit 1.
page 9,
Figure
na?
page
It is in page 9.
page sir एक good minute page
Yes, yes. You are
page number
figure 1.1
page
function and
number
tax.
9. Yes 9 sir, page number 9.
Okay, okay. See, this is
Yes.
given for your check of your progress. Huh? Whatever I taught to you, whatever I interacted with you, okay, or whatever you have read. After reading this one, this exercise you have to do. For this is
How
given.
sir, give
Okay.
me some give one example sir.
See, here it is a question. Huh? See this. There is a question. Check your progress one. There is a question. What is the primary underlying principle of the developmental model of supervision.
Yes, sir.
What is the primary underlying
Principle. Yes, sir. Sir, got it. Got it. Huh. Yeah.
Hello?
Hello, sir.
Am I audible to you or not?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Now.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
We have discussed two models. Yes. One is, tell me,
Mm,
one is developmental model.
which?
One is developmental model, another one is the tax model.
Yes, sir.
One is developmental model, another one is tax model. Okay.
Means
So
function
it
developmental
is
model
saying
means
that
functional model, sir.
tax model.
Task model.
Tax model is functional model.
Huh.
Tax model, tax model and developmental model. Okay. Two model we have discussed, na? The developmental and tax model of supervision. There are two type of model. One is developmental, another one is tax model. Tax means assignment. By
Yes.
giving assignment, you are encouraging the students, you are developing the capacity of the students, you are developing the uh, knowledge of the students by giving tasks, by giving some assignments. You got it, my point? That is tax model.
Yes, sir.
Okay. And another model is developmental.
Tower coming again. Network problem.
Hello? 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 Hello?
Yes, sir.
Hello?
ଆଜ୍ଞା ସାର୍ ସମସ୍ତେ ପଳେଇଲେଣି।
ହଁ ଠିକ ଅଛି ଆମେ ୱାଇଣ୍ଡ ଅପ୍ କରିବା। ନାଇଁ ମୁଁ ଜଷ୍ଟ କାହିଁକି ମୁଁ ୟା ପୂର୍ବରୁ ଯୋଉ କହୁଥିଲି ଶୁଭୁଥିଲା ନା ନାଇଁ?
ଆଜ୍ଞା ଶୁଭୁଥିଲା।
ତମେ କିଏ ରିପ୍ଲାଏ ଦଉନାହୁ ଯେ କଣ ଅସୁବିଧା ହେଲା?
ପିଲା ମାନେ ଆପଣଙ୍କୁ ଯିଏ କୋଶ୍ଚିନ୍ ପଚାରୁଥିଲେ ସେ ଲେଫ୍ଟ କରିଗଲେ ନା, ମୁଁ ସେଥିପାଇଁ କିଛି ରିପ୍ଲାଏ ଦେଇନଥିଲି।
ଆରେ ମୁଁ କିଏ ହେଲେ ଟିକେ କୁହ ବୋଲି ମୁଁ କହୁଛି ନା, ଜଣେ ବି କିଏ କିଛି ରିପ୍ଲାଏ ଦଉନଥିବ। ଏନିୱେ ଥ୍ୟାଙ୍କ ୟୁ ସୋ ମଚ୍। କାଲି ଆଉଥରେ we will meet tomorrow again. Thank you. Good night. Take
ଥ୍ୟାଙ୍କ ୟୁ
care.
ସାର୍। ଆଜ୍ଞା ଥ୍ୟାଙ୍କ ୟୁ ସାର୍।